Welcome to We Love Bible Stories.
Isaiah 48 verse 18. If you had obeyed me, then peace would have come to you, like a full flowing river. Good things would have come to you again and again, like the waves of the sea.
Whoa! When we obey God, we will have so much of God's goodness around us that it will be like we are swimming in it.
Hi kids! Our Bible story for today is taken from Genesis chapter 2 verse 8 hanggang chapter 3 verse 24. Ang title ng story natin today is Adam and Eve Disobey God. God planted a garden east of Eden, and He made every kind of tree to grow which was pleasant to look at and good to eat. The tree was in the garden, and also the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The man God created was called Adam, and the woman was called Eve. God put Adam into the garden and told him to work in it and take care of it. God warned Adam that he could eat from any of the trees in the garden, except from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. If Adam ate the fruit from this tree, he would die. One day, a serpent came into the garden, and it was the most cunning of all the animals. When Eve walked by, the serpent called to her and tempted her by asking, "Did God really say you must not eat from any of the trees in the garden?" Eve answered, "We may eat from any of the trees in the garden except from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, or we must die." "You will not die," the serpent answered. "You will become like gods, knowing good and evil." When Eve saw that the fruit on the tree looked good and tasty to eat, and believed it could make her wise, she ate it. Then she gave someone to her husband Adam, and he also ate it from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. But when Adam and Eve had eaten the fruit, suddenly they realized that they were naked, and they were ashamed and afraid. And after that, the two of them gathered fig leaves from a nearby tree and made clothes to cover their bodies. Then Adam and Eve heard the voice of God as He walked in the garden in the cool of the day, and they were afraid and hid themselves amongst the trees. God called them out, and Adam answered, "I am hiding. I was naked, and it made me afraid." Then God asked them if they had eaten the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Adam replied that Eve had given him the fruit. Eve said that the serpent had tricked her, and that was why she had eaten the fruit. Then God spoke to the serpent and said, "Because of what you have done, you will be cursed, and shall crawl on your belly and eat dust all your days. And one day someone will come into the world, born of a woman, who will crush your head forever." Then God spoke to Eve and said, because of her disobedience, she would suffer pain from giving birth to children. And to Adam, He said that the earth would produce thorns and weeds, and it would be very hard work to grow crops. Then God clothed Adam and Eve in animal skins. Then he made them leave the beautiful garden, as he did not want them to eat from the tree of life and live forever in their sinfulness. God placed angels at the entrance of the Garden of Eden and a flaming sword which flashed backwards and forwards to guard the way to the tree of life. What is the lesson of the story? The lesson of the story is that God knows what is best for us, so we must obey God. And another lesson is patience is a virtue. Adam and Eve did not listen to God. They wanted the same wisdom of God without maturity. Obedience pays off in the long run. If children obey their parents, life would be much better for the family. So kids, always tayong makikinig sa mga magulang natin, kay mama, kay papa, kay daddy, at kay mami, kay nanay, at kay tatay. Dahil pag hindi tayo nakikinig, may masasamang mangyayari at magagalit si God sa atin. So always tayong makinig sa mga mami at daddy natin. Okay?
Adam and Eve, the very first people that the world's ever seen. Adam and Eve were made in the image of God. Now Adam, he was the first one around. God made him from the dust of the ground. He gave him a job and he gave him his life, but he didn't yet have a wife. Now it wasn't good for Adam to be all alone in the garden, you see. So God put Adam in a real deep sleep. He didn't even need to count sheep. God took a rib from Adam's side, formed it real nice, and he made him a bride. When Adam awoke, he was real pleased. Woo! That's how the Lord made Eve. Adam and Eve, the very first people that the world's ever seen. Adam and Eve, were made in the image of, made in the image of, made in the image of God.
Kita-kita ulit tayo mga bata sa susunod na Sabado. Paalam!